It is 6:30 p.m., January 27, 2025. I'd like to call this regular meeting of the Old Saybrok Police Commission to order. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll begin with comments from the public, starting with the live audience. If there is anyone who would like to make a comment, please raise your hand. Yes, sir.
You're all set.
All right. My name is John Blair. I'm a labor representative for the International Brotherhood of Police Officers. And I'd like to read the statement to record. IBPO Local 806, which represents Old Saybrok police officers, finds the report issued by PERF to be lacking merit and evidence to support their conclusions. The report commissioned by the town is disheartening to the union and appears to be designed to cause our members harm, which IBPO will not stand for. The union completely disagrees with PERF's findings, including the characterization of our work environment and our workplace culture. They have it completely wrong. Our police officers confirm that there have been vast improvements to the workplace, including our relationship with the chief of police. While no workplace is perfect, the union enjoys a workplace where employees are respected, valued, and heard. This is contrary to the process used by PERF, where our members' voices were ignored or muted. PERF failed to include our positive comments and improperly discredited our members' statements by implying our input was not truthful. PERF also failed in their task to properly compare compensation and benefits to identified communities. PERF only used the collective bargaining agreement, which was recently negotiated in the comparison, and not the collective bargaining agreements at the time officers were leaving the town of Old Saybrok. What was sold to the taxpayers as a $100,000 study to analyze pay and benefits for our members was instead a one-sided, poorly created document that has caused more harm than good. The PERF report has caused a decrease in morale, an increase in workplace uncertainty, and is making the Old Saybrok Police Department seem like an unpleasant place to work. None of this helps with the recruitment and retention of Old Saybrok police officers. Our members are a true team who enjoy each other, their jobs, and serving the Old Saybrok community. We will not stand by and allow the politically charged PERF report to destroy the supportive workplace that we have today. Any changes to department leadership would be detrimental to the union as well as the town of Old Saybrok. Any proposed changes in working conditions for our members must be properly and respectfully bargained. Our voices must matter. Therefore, today, on behalf of our members, we are in the process of reviewing all information currently available. We have requested under the Municipal Employee Relations Act additional information from the town, which we hope will be provided in a timely manner. After review of this material, the union will take appropriate action, including the potential of filing municipal prohibited practice charges. We hope that the town and police commission will acknowledge their current police officers and will pause and create a committee with our members to review the PERF report. We also ask that they speak with our members and learn the truth prior to taking any action. And finally, we want the community to know that we value our positive relationship with you. We want community members to know that the information reflected in the PERF report does not represent our feelings or the Old Saybrok Police Department. The report valued the voices of those that no longer work here for a variety of reasons, rather than those who are proudly serving you and your families today. We want you to know the truth and to have confidence in our abilities to keep you safe and to be there for you any time of the day or night. We believe that you have confidence in us, and we will continue to work each day to maintain that confidence. However, we need your help. We humbly ask for your support in demanding that the Police Commission and the Board of Selectmen respect our voices and not take politically motivated steps based on the PERF report to destroy our workplace. The truth matters and our voices matter.
Perfect time.
Perfect time.
Thank you.
Sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Anyone else in the live audience? Sir, please come forward.
How long do I have?
3 minutes.
Oh, it's a short time for me, right? My name is Mike Rafferty. I was principal of the middle school from November of 1990 to June of 2013. When I first came, my first day, which was in here, Main Street School, I was stopped by a reporter at dismissal time, and I said, "What do you have to say about the school?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And he said, "Well, in fact, what are you gonna do?" And I said, "The students, the most important part of anything, and we will have an award-winning school in a matter of a couple of years," which we did several times. And in reality, the other thing I heard that day is that parents don't get involved in the schools. They just didn't like what was going on, and there was a new philosophy that became a bone of contention for many years when I first started. And PRO, which is a parent group that was opposed to the education. Bottom line, the superintendent of schools left, high school principal left, and several department heads left. I think unfortunately, fast forward 35 years later, we're in the same situation. And I am more than concerned as a citizen and a person that knows Michael Spear very well. I actually learned about Michael Spear when he was a junior in high school. He was probably the most popular kid at the school because he did everything. All over, every sport event, every activity, Michael Spear was there. When the new OSM was built, the town decided to take this school and make it into a beautiful town hall. But one of the things we worked very hard for was to have a youth center. We made sure that the former gym was expanded and then in fact that it had a student youth center. The first youth center coordinator was Farside Michael Spira. He did an unbelievable job. The kids loved him. The kids that didn't like him is because they couldn't follow the rules, but that's part of being a kid. Michael has always wanted to be a police officer, and when he became a police officer, he actually was the first youth officer of the town. Michael is determined, deliberate, decisive, diligent, direct man. His love for Old Saybrok has been obvious as a policeman and now as the chief. He was, when he became chief, he made many decisions to better our community, to showcase our community, lead us forward in police changes. We have our new June Day, which the whole town closes down, go on Main Street. His idea, his input is just an example. Our concern right now is we need to make sure that we are doing what's right for this community, but also what's right for a man who has devoted his life here. People in today's world do not like to be told what to do. Our police department is a small one, as our community is small. Michael runs a tight force, and he expects a lot from his force. Good for him. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Mr. Keeney, you had your hand up.
Hi, my name is Richard Mesak. I was on the commission back when Ed Mosca wasn't chief. And I want to ask the commission this. Is this department in better shape now than it was under Ed Mosca? Is it? Answer it.
Sir, this is comment. It's not question and
Oh,
answer.
I am sorry. I apologize, but I say it is a lot better. Because I was instrumental in moving Mr. Mosca out of his chair. Okay, I have seen nothing wrong with what Michael is doing right now. His attitude might not be the best in the world, and there are some people that hold it against it. Myself, when I was on the commission, I was the only individual that voted against putting him on because I was afraid he was a rubber stamp Fred Mosca. He is not. He is himself. After 2 years of him being chief, I never called him chief until the 2-year period was up. I looked at him and I said, Hello, Chief Sarah. That is one young man that has done what he said he was gonna do, whip this department up into shape, and he did. It was a shadow of what it is now. But I do wanna endorse Michael with all my heart. God bless you, son.
Thank you, sir.
Do you mind if I sit?
Not at all.
Okay, thank you. I have two things I'd like to comment on this evening, if I may. Chairman Wilcox, members of the Old Saybrook Police Commission, Chief Spira, members of the Old Saybrook Police Union, rank and file, members of the general public. Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to speak before this meeting of the Old Saybrook Police Commission. My name is Frank Keeney, and I was a member of this commission from November 2017 until November 21. Serving as its chairman for the last 18 months. I was a chairman who immediately preceded Chairman Wilcox. As I've read letters and heard comments from some current and former members of our police department, I'd like to share some thoughts and my personal experience. I've listened to Officer Tanner express her frustration that all of her positive comments about the current working conditions at OSPD were ignored and not reflected in the final PERF report. Leadership at the department has expressed the same concerns as has union leadership, Sergeant Ryan Walsh. A week ago, I reached out to our former Captain Jeffrey DePerry to ask about his experience with PERF. His response was, and I quote, "I spoke with PERF for 4 hours. No mention of any of our discussion, even though I told them I would proudly have my name put on my truthful statements. My statements did not fit their agenda. Those of you in this room who know and respect Jeffrey DePerry, the man, the husband, the father, the cop, should be asking why. My piece of this story is very simple. I'm not very happy with myself for having to tell it this way. The minute this report was funded, I should have gotten in line to be interviewed. I did not. I thought a former OSPC chair would automatically be asked to comment, especially one who lived through some of the more serious allegations made in the report. How wrong I was. I've been recognized as a staunch supporter of the Old Saybrook Police Department and one who has always pointed out how much Old Saybrook has benefited from Chief Spira's leadership. Was the process flawed? If I had been interviewed when my comments had been put in the same class as Captain DePerry's, would I be sitting here today, telling you that my statements didn't fit their agenda? Now we'll never know. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I'd also, Article 18 of the bylaws of this commission, public comment, conduct and procedure. Speakers are expected to refrain from presentations that discuss specific employees of the Department of Police Services, regardless of whether or not the employee is identified in the presentation by name or by another reference that tends to identify an individual. Members of the public are encouraged to submit commendations, comments, or complaints concerning specific employees to the Chief of Police or to the Police Commission. I think there have been too many cases recently in public comment where comments are becoming very personal, not only to members of the department, but to members of the commission, are becoming very personal and disrespectful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Any other comment in the live audience? Yes, sir.
I'll comment. I just want to thank the police commission. I think you're all, I'm Keith Margada. I just wanted to thank all of you for your hard work. I know you're volunteers. I mean, the chief has some good qualities. But he's a paid town employee with, his agenda is to make sure he continues getting paid. Yours is of neutrality, or should be. Perf's should be as neutrality as well. I mean, to stake their entire business on the line, to be like one-sided, or just seems like unrealistic. And statistically, when they interviewed that many people, to have the results that they had, it just seems like you'd have better odds of winning like lotto or something like that. That's all I have. It's just that, just statistically speaking, with him being unbiased, it just doesn't sound like the report is there's any logic to it being, incorrect.
Thank you very much,
So
sir.
thank you for your service.
Anyone else in the live audience? Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I'm gonna comment. My name is Jim Shake. 19 years with the agency, dispatcher. And I feel like maybe I'm gonna be the only dissenting opinion, which is okay. I read the letter from the police union and it evoked a lot of thought, and I spoke to an awful lot of people. And the questions, and I have 4 questions that were posed to me that seemed pretty pertinent. The first one was, is in fact the chief of police a member of the police union? Of that, I said, I do not believe so. Second, if not, then why is the union espousing this? Okay, nobody from the police union has been implicated or called into question regarding this, not at all. Then the question came, who at the local level runs the police union? And I can say it is the upper level leadership, ranking leadership that runs the police union. And then the last one, which is big, concerns for who is the police union being run for, or by, and for who. The letter, in my opinion, that the union wrote is nothing more than a pathetically weak and seemingly desperate attempt to stall the work of the town and the commission. All right? That's what it sounds like to me. All right? There's been given a mandate. Okay? There's a mandate here that's been laid out there on the table through this Perth report. Okay? That the commission, the town, whoever has to look at this, has to be able to do their job and proceed unimpeded without the fear of manipulation, intimidation, or retaliation. I don't believe that everybody that left our employ got up and lied to the Perth report people. I don't think that happened. You saw a lot of young officers in here tonight. Awful lot of young officers that weren't even around, that have no idea what the Perth report signifies or anything else. They listen to what they're told by the superiors. Thank you for letting me comment.
Thank you, sir. Any other comments in the live audience? Seeing none? All right.
I'll come up here this time. Hello. Hi,
Do you have comments about what we're talking about?
absolutely.
Okay.
So I'll introduce myself. I have 3 minutes, right?
Yeah,
Like the
please
rest of
get-
the public? Yeah.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Ashley Fawn. I have a grassroots anti-human trafficking nonprofit organization called ER1 Inc. And I regularly advocate for victims and survivors of human trafficking throughout the state of Connecticut, specifically on the shoreline on the 95 corridor. I have spoken to my victims that I serve within the Old Saybrok community, and they have, I don't even want to say no complaints about the policing. They speak very highly of the policing and leadership within this community. So as a survivor of human trafficking myself from Connecticut, as someone that regularly collaborates with businesses within Old Saybrok, I am happy to say that I have no complaints with leadership in Old Saybrok policing. I regularly collaborate with law enforcement all over the state, federally, locally, and with state police. And everyone that I've spoken to speaks very highly of Chief Sparrow and his staff. And as a victim, sorry, I get a little, it's very rare to speak to law enforcement that's actually working to serve and protect victims. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're paying them for. And I mean, I do this work for the community and to help protect and serve the community. And we have a lot of private beaches within this community, and we really don't want Chalker Beach, for example, in Old Saybrok to turn into, say, a 3 mile island like Pennsylvania. Thank you.
Any other persons in the live audience? All right, Larry, do we have any hands raised in the virtual audience?
Yes, start with
Wait.
Eric.
Before we address him, he does not live in Old Saybrook.
Doesn't matter.
He doesn't have to.
She doesn't live in Old Saybrok either. We just got her advertisement, so
So
that does not matter. You do not have to be a resident of the town of Old Saybrok.
Okay. That's also-
I would ask Mr. Forsey to be mindful of the admonition that Mr. Keeney read from our bylaws about maintaining appropriate respect and decorum.
Yeah, hi, can you guys hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, so I was mainly going to address the police commission, I think, this time, but I also want some of my voice to be on the minutes, just from what happened before. The first thing I really do believe is that union member that spoke is insulting everybody's intelligence in the room, myself included. I also didn't really appreciate that kind of intimidation factor where it's kind of like Gestapo kind of coming in with all the police officers. I didn't think this meeting was going to go that way. About people that were addressing the current working conditions might be slightly better right now. Well, the problem with that logically is you're just picking a snapshot in time. I'm sure over the course of Spare's entire career, there's been a year or a month or a week where the conditions are good because those particular people are new officers, haven't gotten on his bad side yet. There's a million reasons why any instant snapshot in time conditions currently might be good. That doesn't mean they're going to be good 6 months from now because you're not actually fixing the root of the problem. And it's like all the officers that can't stand Spare ended up leaving, so they're not there anymore. So obviously morale is going to go a little bit better, but that doesn't mean that you're fixing the problem with future officers. As far as the gentleman that was saying becoming the amount of people that they statistically interviewed, it's crazy for. No, it's not. Maybe that's how bad Spare actually might be, right? So if the overwhelming consensus of all of those people is this same underlying factor, I don't think that it's rational in any way to just completely dismiss that. But the real reason that I'm here today is I really want to go over, and I think the police commission owes the general public this. You owe it to the general public, I wouldn't say in this meeting, but what your intentions are. Okay, it's an elected position. You work for the public, not for Spera. The general public needs to know what your intentions are. And I understand some of that is a legal issue. You have to, talk to attorneys, but you can still give the general public a basic idea of what your intentions are. We plan on rectifying this. We plan on starting here. Do you plan on reprimanding Spera? So far, the only thing that I've seen taken place was not the raise hike was frozen. What are just a couple basic intentions that the police commission has? You guys at this time owe that to the general public. This has been an issue forever. And I just think at this point, these people that are getting up and kind of speaking fondly of Spera, it's almost, I feel like we're in the twilight zone here. Everybody knows what Spera has been like. And the other thing is the other shoe hasn't even dropped yet. This study was done specifically on his administrative issues, right? What do you think is going to happen if you take another town vote for how he treats the general public? What if we did a study? So now it's no longer administrative. Let's do a study how he actually treats the town public. What if the town overwhelming?
Larry, thank you. Okay, is there anyone else in the virtual audience who would like to raise your hand?
Yes, there is. There's Bart Gulong.
Mr. Gulong, I should remind everybody that the public comment limit is 3 minutes per person. Is he there?
Looks like his microphone's on.
Mr. Gulong, check if you're not, make sure you're not muted. Maybe we can come back to him. Is there anyone else?
No, that is it. No one else.
All right. Let's move on then to our meeting minutes. Jill, you had a term of art.
You know what, I was gonna suggest that we do this as a consent agenda. But we'll just do them one at a time, that's fine.
Okay. Let's first take the special joint meeting, January 7th, 2025.
I move to approve those minutes. Second,
Second, Jessica?
yes.
Any discussion, questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? None. All right. The special meeting of January 9, 2025.
I move to approve.
Second.
Any questions, comments, corrections? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? None. Special meeting of January 13, 2025.
No, there's a second.
Oh, the second
Another
January 9,
right,
2025.
That was our meeting, yes.
Yes.
So I move to approve those minutes.
Any questions, discussion, comments? Seeing none, all are in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? None. Special meeting January 13, 2025.
Move to approve. Second,
Any questions, discussion, comments? No. Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? None. Our special meeting of January 15, 2025.
move to approve.
Second.
Any questions, comments, discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? None. And last, our special meeting of January 22, 2025.
I move to approve. Second.
Did you get a second?
Thank you. Thanks, Jim.
Any discussion, questions, comments? Seeing none, all in favor of approval signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? None.
Jen, thank you very much for your work on these. You turned them around very quickly. And I was very appreciative of that.
Next item, correspondence. I have none to report other than what's already been circulated. Any other commissioners have any correspondence to report?
No, it was in the neighborhood of 29 that we had received over the last month.
Okay, next item, executive reports, chief.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Yes.
Everyone should have received their fiscal year 26 budget book. The only thing that's lacking in this book is the actual personnel schedule from the town. It's just not completed yet. So when that is completed by the finance director and she gives it to me, I will make sure that you folks have that. But this is your approved budget. Members of the Board of Finance will receive that later on this week. The fiscal year 25 budget, you have the usual report that's in front of you. I just want to make note again that we are continuing to do that special column for you on the expenses and supplies report. And that just highlights just a point I'd like to make, that we are obviously using the purchase order system. That's the reason why the commission asked us to make that special column, right? Because the report was reflecting things that were expended that were not because of the purchase order system. So we're about 90% compliant with the town's purchase order system. We'll be 100% compliant by the first selectman's deadline of July 1, 2025. There was a misconception at some point that the police department had its own purchase order system. That has never, ever been the case. The difference in us doing business was generating a invoice, generating a check request, sending it to the accounting department and having a check generated, as opposed to now encumbering the money through the purchase order system, which is again the reason why you've asked for that adjusted report, so you can actually see what's expended rather than what's encumbered. So if there's any questions on the current budget, I'm more than happy to answer those at this time.
I have a question, Chief.
Sure.
Under the general expenditures for repairs and maintenance, that's designed for the vehicles.
Can you just give me where on the page and what's the number?
543.
The account number?
Yeah,
So we're looking at
that's for the
54302. PD general expenditures, fire and security maintenance that has zero.
Couple,
repairs and maintenance.
a little bit further up.
So if it's not vehicle repairs, so 537, if you go to like 3 up, that's the vehicle.
General expenditures.
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
tell me where you
general.
are.
It's number
It's repairs and goals.
53.
Oh, that's the vehicles.
Yeah.
Oh, that is
That's
vehicles.
vehicles.
Okay. I didn't know if that included some of the maintenance.
No.
For the building, solely for.
Solely for the vehicles.
Okay, great, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Question.
You read them off and you talked about them at the meeting with the Board of Finance.
Yes.
Are they in the book?
They are. So in the book, so you had reminded me that no one had received the PowerPoint slides.
Correct.
So those went out to everybody in attendance. In that PowerPoint slideshow are my executive goals. And
Okay,
I've included that for you once again in this booklet.
great, thank you.
You got it.
I do have a question about the child safety. What exactly does that mean?
So we have police officers who are certified child safety speed installers, inspectors.
Okay.
It's actually a pretty rigorous course that they have to go through. And so actually this month, I was going to report on a little bit later, but I'll say now, we actually had an officer attend a brand new townwide baby shower that was hosted by Youth and Family Services. And so we sent one of our car seat technicians there to be able to interact with either new parents or expecting parents to make sure that, the car seats can be installed, to let them know that we offer that service, or if they were there, to just double check them. This month, we're focusing on the food pantry. I'm gonna have our officer go there and interact with the folks that are going to the food pantry to let them know again about our service, maybe check some of the stuff on site. And then we're also gonna begin starting to offer our services in that realm to all of the daycares in town, maybe setting up a time where we can be there. So that's gonna be, as I put in my executive goals, it's gonna be a year-long initiative. We also have additional officers now that are interested in becoming certified, so that's great. So maybe during the year, we'll have the opportunity to send them to that certification course.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, so good stuff happening there. And again, that's part of one of my executive goals.
Thank you for expanding on that.
Yep. Any other questions on the operating budget before I go to the off-budget accounts? The only thing I'll say about the off-budget account is there was that correction that went out today about the DARE account. Jill, thanks for your input on that. So the revised DARE sheet has been emailed out to everybody.
I have a question about the care program.
Yes.
So is there like, I don't remember like really talking about the DARE program. Is there like a yearly like subscription or anything that we have to pay to be part of the DARE program?
Yeah, so no, good question. No, there's no type of subscription or fee to be part of it. So DARE for eons, even when I was actively, before I was actively teaching DARE, DARE was always taken care of as an off-budget item. So it would never become the source of politics during a budget season. So other than the police officer's salary, our SRO in the school who's already there, teaching the program, everything else is handled through donations and through the off-budget account, which is why the commission sees that. So the certificates for the kids, the Lions, the teaching aids, all of that comes from donated funds. And some of our main sources of funds actually come from our very own police union, donates a considerable amount to the DARE program. Our Rotary Club, very strong supporter, and also the middle school PTO. Those are our top three folks who were organizations who donate to the very successful program.
And the creative product sourcing, I'm assuming that's like for the Lions and for that.
That's for the supplies. and
Okay.
stuff, the certificates, the name tags, the pencils and
All the
all the
rulers.
goodies they get at the end of each You've actually been part of
Yeah.
the data class. You've seen it in that. Very cool.
It's a great program.
That it is. Any other questions on any of the off-budget accounts before, Mr. Chairman, I go on to personnel matters?
Please do.
Okay, so on personnel matters, we still have one certified police officer who is still out on workman's compensation. We're hoping that he's able to return hopefully in the next month or two. We have our scheduling software subcommittee that I've spoken about. We'll be meeting once again this coming week. We actually have two vendors. To back up a little bit, I had a very nice meeting with our finance director and folks from the software company that deals with the town hall payroll system. And so they actually have a product for public safety scheduling. And so they're going to demo their payroll system and their scheduling system to our committee tomorrow, actually. And then we have another vendor that's presenting after them. So two more vendors to look at the scheduling system that our folks are interested in. One of them being our payroll provider here at Town Hall. So I mean, that would be great if that worked out. But we'll see how that goes. The promotional process, I'd like to give you an update on if I could. So the sergeant process, the written exam was held on January 17th. The oral board exam will be held this Thursday, and the Connecticut Police Academy once again is holding that. We have no idea what the questions are. I have no idea who's on the panel. The Police Academy is taking care of all of that for us. And I'm hoping, Mr. Chairman, that we can work together to maybe schedule a special meeting, maybe the week of February 10th, to do the commission's part, to interview the 4 candidates that we have, and then talk about selection. I'll be asking the commission at this point, hopefully to appoint 2 new patrol sergeants. And then it will be up to you if you make a list, not make a list. Obviously, that's the commission's purview. Our lieutenant process, one of the folks involved in the process is out on work-related injury. So that process has been minorly delayed. However, we hope to do the assessment exam on February 19th. And then the written exam on February 26th, and then hopefully the beginning of March, Mr. Chairman, if we can maybe schedule a special meeting for you to interview the 4 folks that are involved in the lieutenant process. And so the overall goal would be the sergeants will be made hopefully the first or beginning or middle of February. The lieutenants will be made the first week of March. We'll get them the education that they need, and then I'd like to go ahead and schedule that community meeting that's been part of my executive goal sometime in April with the brand new leadership team being able to interact with the community that we've been talking about. So that's kind of my timetable with that. And so any assistance that the commission can provide, keep us with that timetable, that would be great. Obviously, this is sorely needed, and I'm very excited for these folks to participate. Really happy. All the folks that took the sergeant written exam, they all passed it very, very well. So really proud of them. It's a lot of studying for these exams, a lot of studying. So very proud of everyone who's raising their hand and saying they'd like to advance. So that.
Great, thank you very much.
Is that. You're welcome.
I have a question on the payroll. It sounds like we're looking at multiple vendors, so it might still not be handled through town hall.
No, so what we're looking at, the different vendors, Renee, is scheduling software. So if you remember from reviewing the strategic planning elements that we spoke about at 2 different meetings, one of the things that our staff desires is a scheduling app and the ability to request time off electronically. And so rather than just picking a vendor and saying, this is what it is, we formed a subcommittee that has patrol officers of all ranks and dispatchers on the committee. And we sit down with vendors and we go through and we ask our questions. And we thought we would like one vendor, and the software is really for 100-man police department, not for 25 full-time police officers and 9 full-time dispatchers. So we're hoping that we'll find a vendor that works. What I had mentioned before is one of the vendors is the town's current payroll vendor. They have a public safety scheduling module that talks to payroll. So if that works, that would be fantastic. And I'll know more about that tomorrow, when we meet with them. If that doesn't work, then we would try to see if the scheduling vendor that we find has an interface to the town's payroll system, that they talk. And then, we could go ahead and be on that. But in my meeting with the finance director and our payroll vendor, we talked a lot about a lot of my concerns, and this brand new company, because remember, the town just changed companies. This brand new company is able to check the boxes that the previous vendor was not able to. So I'm really excited to see their presentation tomorrow. Does that answer your question?
Yes, because now I know how it is now. They can request time off through their time and attendance app.
The town hall can.
Yes,
Yes, yeah, currently the police officers cannot do that.
so that would make sense to go with the same system.
Yeah, again, if it's beneficial for us. So one of the things that we're looking for is, can the system do some polling? Can it follow our business rules? So I'm a police officer, I open my app, I ask for time off. Instead of that going to a human to then just do the same process we're doing now, only you get an alert on your phone, can it follow the collective bargaining agreement's business rules for who gets selected, how they get selected, and send out that messaging, receive the information back, follow the algorithm to pick the right person? That would be great. Keeping in mind that after the schedule is posted, our patrol leadership makes all the scheduling adjustments. So if someone asks for a vacation day for a schedule that's already posted, if somebody calls in sick, that goes to our patrol shift supervisor to follow the language in the collective bargaining agreement to make sure that that shift is filled. That does not come to me. They advise me of what's happened. If there's an issue, I can obviously discuss it with the supervisor, but that hasn't been my task for quite some time.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Next was
Professional development? Yeah, so if you remember, we saw those two new dispatchers, I think it was last meeting. And they said that they
there have
were.
been so many meetings.
There's been a lot of meetings, Chuck, yeah, a lot of conversation. But when you met with those two dispatchers, and their dispatch supervisor, Dan Adams, he spoke about that state certification class that they need to go to. They went, and both of them passed that. And then Patrolman Moriarty, just got back from A-RIDE class. A-RIDE stands for Advanced Roadside Impaired Drug Enforcement. So this is a requirement that all police officers go to this course and get this certification within the first 3 years of their employment. This allows them to not only do roadside sobriety testing for folks who might be under the influence of alcohol, but now specialized testing to detect narcotics, driving while drugged. So very, very important. As you know, we take a very strong stance against drunk and drugged driving in Old Saybrok, and that's something I'm incredibly proud of. So when I hear people say, you really shouldn't drink and drive in Old Saybrok because they're going to catch you, my answer is, that is correct. It is our job to keep the roadways safe. And that will be it for the professional development updates.
Activity report.
Yeah, for the activity report, Jill had asked for a 2024 year in review. And I don't have that log into the system we use. We use Power BI to talk to the data in our CAD system to develop those nice looking reports. So when Dan Adams comes to work tomorrow, he'll make me one and I'll get out to everyone. I'll also put it in your packets next month, so it'll be online. But just remember, using our interactive dashboard, you can actually go to our website, we click around and generate those reports whenever you desire. They don't look exactly like the ones that the commission gets, but all that data is there for folks to data mine and do their own reports. But we'll certainly get that. We'll certainly get that to you. Along with the activity report, we have been extremely busy. I think yesterday's day shift was a good example, from a DUI early in the morning to a CPR save, where a true human life was saved by strangers, to a couple of different domestics and some disturbances. Your police officers are very busy, and I just want to commend them for the work that they're doing under the circumstances that they're currently doing them in. It's a tough time right now in our agency. And I think that the commission can acknowledge that. And I really appreciate the tremendous work that our staff is doing, our dispatchers and our police officers day in and day out, no matter when the call for service comes in. So very proud of them, and I'm sure you share that with me.
Thank you, everybody.
And then moving on, the diaper drive. So the diaper drive starts in February. It's time to do your duty is the catchphrase for our diaper drive. We've been very, very successful in creating diapers and wipes. So I would ask the commission maybe for their February regular meeting, if anyone would like to donate, maybe I can have some of the officers that are running that donation drive come and you guys can take a nice picture. I think that would be really cool, but we're looking to get those. A lot of people drop ship them to the station, so they go on their favorite online vendor and just put in the address. And so lots of boxes of diapers addressed to Chief Sparrow arrive during the month of February. We appreciate everyone that wants to donate. We help Old Saybrok Youth and Family Services and the Valley Shore Diaper Bank. It is amazing how many young families struggle to make sure that their new loved ones have the proper wipes and clean diapers. And as we talk about with all of our fundraising efforts, it's just a matter, it's paper thin, the difference between not needing a little helping hand and needing a little helping hand. And none of us in this room, none of us watching ever know when ourselves, our friends, or family might need that little helping hand. So at the Old Saybrok Police Department, we're proud to be very active all year round to make sure that we're helping meet our community members and our friends' needs. So diaper drive this February.
Is there like a specific size diaper or anything?
Anything at all. Yeah, anything at all. Thanks for asking. Anything at all. And, diaper wipes as well.
Well, coincidentally, there was an op-ed in the Hartford Current today, which talks exactly about the need for diapers. I found the information quite astonishing. She outlined here, and she is the Chief Executive Officer of the Diaper Bank of Connecticut, headquartered in New Haven. And she said 1 in 2 Connecticut families struggles to afford diapers. And now the diapers are costing 22% more than they did in 2018, which means people are making decisions about buying diapers or buying food. So thank you for doing this for the community.
Yeah, don't think we thank our officers. And by the way, that everything that we do, whatever we're asking the community for, whether it's turkeys or our shorts for whatever fundraiser over the summer, or the diapers, or certainly our toy drive, how the community responds to your police officers when they ask for these things exemplifies the positive relationship that they have. If community members wanted nothing to do with your police department or didn't trust your police department, they would not be responsive when they say, can you help us help others? And that has never, ever, ever been the case in Old Saybrok. And so when we see 700 plus turkeys, or we'll do, 10, 20, 30,000 diapers and wipes, or the money we've raised for the Goodwin PTO, or for Sean, or for the lights on the field, all of that is a testament to the relationship, the positive relationship that our department members have with the community. We're proud of that. We work to keep that and enhance that every single day. We never take it for granted. So I appreciate, Joe, you adding those facts. And the only other thing I had for you, Mr. Chairman, that I forgot to mention during our personnel matters, we'll be giving our patrolman written exam as part of our patrolman process also in February. So hopefully we'll have that in March. My question to you, sir, is, did you have a desire, we had talked about this in the past, did you have a desire to meet with our polygrapher and our psychologist to talk about the process and what they do? So you can check the box that you understand what's going on in the
I
process?
think that would be of great interest to the commission.
Okay, so maybe we can, that would have to be an executive session because it's testing, but we can do that. And I can also see if I get some information on the written exam for that meeting as well. So we can work on that together. Great, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any questions? All right. Move on to item 6, discussion and possible action concerning PERF recommendations relating to the Old Saybrook Police Commission. Uh, This, as it turns out, is a little premature. I'd like to give a status report on our initiatives in reaction, in response to the PERF report. Working with the first selectman, the police commission has engaged Attorney Gabriel Duran from the firm of Shipman and Goodwin to assist us in exploring the full range of options which the PERF report's findings implicate. We met with him last week in a special meeting. The first selectman has also engaged Attorney John Burcham from the firm of Burcham and Moses to assist us in implementing the specific recommendations made in the PERF report. Both of those attorneys are now actively pursuing their respective assignments, and as a commission, we are double tracking. As you can see from the fact that this is the 7th meeting of the Police Commission in the month of January, we are proceeding with a sense of urgency and also with the purposeful care that the PERF report and the department and the town deserve. I anticipate that we will have one or more special meetings in February as we hear from council. Depending on what we hear, we may be in either public or executive session. We want to keep the public informed, and we want to do it right under the Freedom of Information Act, respecting the interests and rights of all concerned. That is all I can say tonight. Next item, comments from the public. We have a,
I think we should ask the virtual audience first, since we did the public first.
okay, that's a good suggestion. Let's go to the virtual audience.
We've got Eric Forsey.
Hello, yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Mr. Forsey?
First off, I actually want to say thank Spara for the diaper drive. I think that's fantastic. I think that's awesome, right? My only concern with Spara and some of these drives is, you know, you have all of these issues that he's had, and then it's like, look at me, I'm collecting some diapers, right? So we obviously have some major issues, right? Obviously, we know about the Down syndrome incident, these major things about how they treat the public. I think the commission should honestly think about letting the town vote. Simple vote on does the town think that Spara should be replaced? I don't see how that would not be valuable information for you. Let's say hypothetically the town votes that they want to have him replaced. So now that essentially means the town would not like him to be the chief of police. And then also the people that work for him, the PERF study seems to also say the same thing. Why would you keep somebody like that in any form of employment? I think that's all valuable information. I think it's something that could easily be visited. I appreciate, you know, you guys kind of saying that you're doing everything you can and seeking counsel, but, you know, what exactly does full range of options mean? I feel the general public deserves to know what exactly that means. Another big thing that I think should definitely be investigated is, are Spara's personal vehicles being purchased or given to him via this dealership that he seems to be working for? If so, at what price? Is he getting a special deal on a personal vehicle if he happens to have a personal vehicle from that dealership? Is there a quid pro quo there? Is it below MSRP if he did purchase it from that dealership? There's a lot of really kind of off-putting things about that aspect of that report. But again, great job with the diapers, but I think the town should also have a say on how he treats the town. Another gentleman said something about, well, it's great that he runs a tight ship. Running a tight ship is not towing an older elderly lady's car because she forgot to register it, right? There's a video on YouTube, I'm sure everybody in the police commission have seen it, with his body cam footage from Old Saybrook PD harassing and pulling over this kid because he had an air freshener, pulled him out of the car. Within 2 minutes, he's in handcuffs, car being searched. Nothing was in the car whatsoever. The officer put him in handcuffs because he said it was for his safety because he put his hands in his pocket. At the end of the video, the officer hands that individual a knife, an open knife, for him to cut the air freshener down. How can the officer claim that he feared for anything while handing him an open blade so that he can cut the air freshener off at the end of the video? It's absurd. That is abuse of power and intimidation. It's not a tight ship. It's not. We've known this for Spara for a long time. It's coming to an end. I don't even understand why he even wants to still be at the position at Old Saybrook. I don't. I really don't. I think that the police commission should do some digging.
Okay.
Thank you.
Time's up. Thank you. Any other hands raised?
Bart DeLong.
Mr. DeLong, are you unmuted?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, my God. All right. Thank you. Well, this has been quite a meeting. Honestly, if I had just wandered in here, I would think that we're talking about a completely different person than Chief Spira. But be that as it may, Michael Spira has run our community for years like a backwoods Southern sheriff. Bullying, harassment, intimidation, revenge, and favoritism have been the principles by which he operates and has operated since the day he became chief. Well, it's time for the fear and intimidation to end. We want our town back. Not the officers, not his cronies, not his minions, but the citizens of this community. Chief Spira, how many children of your perceived enemies did you harass in the high school or target in their family vehicles as they drove innocently through town? Only last week, I spoke to 3 people whose children were mercilessly harassed, one who took their child out of school, not for their behavior, but because their parents were considered a political or a personal enemy by you. And that's only 3 of many, many over the years. The list is near endless. I also know of attorneys who won't represent clients against him, engineers, contractors, real estate agents. All fear harassment and loss of business if they cross him in any way. And when the few of us willing to stand up sought support from people in town, we were told, well, I want him out, but I have kids in school, or I have a business in town. I have kids in the school system. Is there anything more evil than punishing the children to intimidate a parent? Carl Fortuna, it's time. Police commissioners, it's time. It's time to have the courage to stand up to this bully. He'll sue, he'll fight, and we'll end up paying attorneys to fight him. But do we just continue to let him manipulate and fleece this town the way he has for many years? The choice is clear. It's been said before. We'll have to defend our decision, but millions for defense, but not one penny for tribute. And this community has been paying a tribute of money, fear, and intimidation to this man for far too long. It's time to act. There'll never be a better time than right now. Suspend, investigate, and dismiss. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Any other hands raised? No. All right. I invite a motion to go into an executive. Oh, that's right. Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi, Ashley Fawn again. I just have a quick comment because I believe his name is Eric Forsey. He spoke very, very passionately, and I just did a quick search on Facebook, and he seems to have a very long rants about his assault rifle seized during traffic stop in Old Saybrok arrest, and a very long-standing agenda against the Old Saybrok police dating back to 2019. You can find that on the patch, and you can find his rants under Eric Michael, and there's a lot of people that go back and forth with him. So while as somebody that appreciates the freedom of speech, as somebody that studied journalism, I appreciate when people speak their truth. But he seems to be speaking his truth from a very biased point of view. And if you have a problem with the Old Saybrok police, there's something called the Citizens Complaint Form that you can fill out and get a proper investigation done. So that's all. You can, Eric Michael, it's under, you can find his things. He got all the charges, he says that he got them dismissed, but I know with policing to actually arrest somebody, to have probable cause to arrest, that takes a lot of work. And it only takes a lot of money to get charges dismissed. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else in the live audience? Mr. Shaker.
First of all, I'll start by saying this is incredibly difficult for me to do. I've enjoyed 19 years with the Department of Police Services. I've seen a lot of people come, I've seen a lot of people go. And I would be selling myself out if I didn't get up here and tell the truth. I was always taught from a young age, if you do not tell it like it is bound to stay like it is. And I think there's a lot of things that could happen to bring positive change. I gotta tell you, the union, you know, they made a statement that it would be detrimental to the department to change leadership. And that may or may not, in fact, you know, may or may not be wrong or right. However, okay, these jobs that police chiefs, town managers, fire chiefs get, they're not forever. You are appointed by a commission to oversee a department. You, just like all the people who work there, are but a trusted servant. A trusted servant. All right? That's very key. If you change, Chief Mosca left. The police department did not close. It continued to operate. We went out and did traffic, we made arrests, we did whatever we had to do. All right, so those things, you know, a comment like that kind of goes off to me. I'm gonna tell you the biggest detriment. The biggest detriment right now is ignoring what the perf report says. That is the biggest detriment to the Department of Police Services. All right? You know, the only thing scary about the perf report, and it is absolutely terrifying, is its stunning accuracy. I'm concerned. I want the commission to be able to work. I want the town to be able to work. I want the police department to be able to work. This has hurt a lot of people along the way, myself included, deeply. But I have to say what I have to say to be true to myself. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else in the live audience? Seeing none, I got a motion to go into executive session to discuss an employee matter.
So moved. Okay.
Inviting me or not?
Any discussion?
Are we inviting
Oh,
the chief?
Inviting the chief, yes, indeed. All in favor?
Aye.
The time is 8:10 PM. We are back in public session. The next item on our agenda is item 9, comments from the chief of police. Chief, do you?
Sure, yeah, just real quickly, just for the public to know that I did distribute 2 different forms of an evaluation, employee evaluation. One is the one that we use internally as a self-evaluation for our patrol leadership team members. And then one is the evaluation that I complete when asked to by the first selectman as a department head. And so the commission actually has a copy of my 2023 department head self-evaluation that was submitted to the first selectman. So those are for either the whole commission or the subcommittee. Whenever the commission is ready to begin discussions about that, I am certainly ready. So
This is 2023. Is there a 2024?
I didn't receive a 2024 one. So I don't know if other department heads did. I can ask Carl. But that is the last one I did as a department head for the first selectman. And my second comment, I just want to reiterate the great work that our team is doing. Very, very proud of them.
Thank you much.
Thank you.
Comments from commissioners? Jessica, Carl?
I just want the public to know that we are working on the perf study and trying to implement the recommendations and follow up on things that were recommended in the report.
Renee?
I'd just like to thank the selectmen for getting the ball rolling on those recommendations, because I thought we were gonna have a lot of work ahead of us going back and forth. And I think that's a great help.
Yes.
I'm all set, thank you.
I'm all set.
So
And I'm all set. Thank you.
Thank you. Motion adjourned.
Jessica, did you say something?
No, I didn't want to.
Oh,
It's not a second.
I didn't hear you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.